Okay, why choose a master's in spirituality, one may want to ask. Well, in my case, I had come to a moment in my life where I wanted to do something. I've always been wanting to do something every so often. The urge to study, if you like, always got me to do things. And my first inclination was actually to do a master's in lateral thinking, having had some experience of that in the past, of course. But the course wasn't available as an evening course. And well, I just shelved the idea. Then my nephew's wedding came along, and I happened to purchase this beautiful painting of the Valletta waterfront taken from Marsamcetto side, and of course part of the painting is the beautiful cupola of the Carmelite monastery in Valletta. I also had a moment of prayer. I thought that was it, but when I went to Mass the following Sunday, the community of course issued the usual magazine, the Flimkin magazine, and lo and behold, there I see this Masters in Spirituality advertised, and it of course struck my attention. What with the painting I had previously bought, what with the prayerful moment I had just contemplating the cupola of the church. And I decided to go ahead and apply for the course. I do not come from any theological background, of course, and I thought that might be a disadvantage for me. However, I did have about 8 years of charismatic renewal, and that meant, of course, a decent contact with the word of the Lord. I did have and I still do have, of course, a particular love for the Virgin Mary. And when I was looking at the options, which were of course Carmelite spirituality, general spirituality, or spirituality and companionship, I think everything fell nicely into place, and of course for me it was an obvious choice to follow, of course, the Carmelite track. What did I gain out of the course itself? Well, to begin with, I certainly gained a few friends. There were at least 40 of us who started the course, if I remember correctly, and although there were only half a dozen of us that actually went towards the Carmelite track in the second year, there were all of us together in the first year, so, you know, one shares experiences, listens to the knowledge that other people are prepared to impart. So from that point of view, of course, I was able to gain a lot of information, knowledge, experience also from what my peers had to say. They were a lovely bunch of people, and of course socializing with them and actually getting on a conversation with them was the easiest thing in the world. Of course, in the second year we found ourselves in this beautiful convent where the interview is taking place, and this is the Carmelite convent in Imdina. And of course there was that special attraction of coming to a very, very historical place, a beautiful place, a place of spirituality as well. And our lectures in the second year, of course, were held here. In the third year, of course, that's the thesis year. It's what I call a year of solitude. You have to read a lot, you have to research on your own. Contact with the other individuals is reduced to a bare minimum, and basically you're working on your own, trying to make sure that you keep to a schedule and prepare your work according to the demands of your tutor as they come along. What has been the benefit, of course, of this course? Well, first of all, we are talking of a master's in spirituality, and for those of you out there who think that there isn't an academic component to the course, I would have to say, you know, do change your minds, because there's a very strong academic content. And of course, where does the spirituality come in? Well, as far as I'm concerned, of course, spirituality comes in with contact with the Word of God, and especially, of course, having a look at the texts of such fantastic Carmelite spiritual writers as John of the Cross, Teresa of Avila, Saint Teresa of Lisieux, Blessed Elizabeth of the Trinity, and so many others. That is the spirituality as far as I'm concerned, of course, because when you do read the works of these individuals, there has to be something special. And especially when you talk of Teresa of Lisieux, she is known for her petitesse, her littleness. This is a person who had hardly any schooling, if you want to say that, and yet you read her works and the union with God, like all saints, of course, is something that you have to appreciate when you see their works. And of course, reading their works meant that you were driven and led into a spiritual aura, which, of course, reading other texts, one would not benefit from. So although I do not actually make use of the masters as far as teaching other people, of course, the element of spirituality that I was longing for, of course, was something that was fully satisfied when I got into contact with the work of these great Carmelite saints.